out of it. Now, this deck, this it's called the Akashic Tarot, but this deck I don't have a book to it. I'm not that familiar with it, so I'm pretty much gonna be like exploring the deck throughout this reading and reading it intuitively. I was just playing with it right before I had jumped on live, and I'm like, I might as well jump on live because this is kind of interesting. Things were getting interesting, so let me go ahead on and let's see what we have. This is an interesting deck, though. I very rarely read out of it because I didn't have the book. Okay. We got the three of roses. Like I said, I'm finna act like I don't know nothing about tarot to read this deck. But roses is giving me well, first of all, we got the number 3. That's the elementary phase. Like the me, myself, and I, your imaginary friends, so to speak, but your own thoughts, that little child, that inner child, so to speak. But roses is love, so it's kind of like, this has nothing to do with Cancer, but I'm still feeling like mother energy. But this is more the rudimentary, that basic love. That love that everybody should be able, well, not should, but everybody has to experience at some point to be here. Some type of emotion. We're going to see where it's going. Hold on. It's not really giving emotion like that, though. It's not really giving emotion. I wish I had an extra screen where I could show. I almost got this deck upside down. I wish I had an extra screen so I could show the cards as I pull, because I like to look at them as I read, especially this new deck. Okay. 13. The individual in that environment, the Buddha prepares. Okay. So looking at these two cards together, this is like that inner stillness that babies have to have, being in the womb, just a stillness. And those me, myself, and I's, thoughts and feelings, emotions that has accumulated within, and being able to put these things in subject of the individual in the environment, which brings on the thoughts. These are inner thoughts, so to speak, that came with you. That is the reason why you even created you manifested here and was carrying you on along your journey. Those inner thoughts and feelings. Let's see where this deck is going. Come out correctly, please, because they was coming out like they needed to. Did I put the deck upside down? Yeah, I think I do. Okay, hold on. Let's stay on track. Okay. The treasure. I got both of these cards when I was pulling just a moment ago. So we got the treasure. I think keys represents like swords energy, air energy. I'm not quite sure, but that's how I'm reading it right now. And in this picture, this man looking around, and it looks like what he thought he had put up as a treasure, somebody broke in and stole it type shit. But it's kind of, to minimize it down, it's kind of like your thoughts, what I got earlier, stay on that track. Your thoughts not adding up to what they were supposed to add up to. I ain't gonna stay on that track. This is a new reading. This is like having to start all the way over to relationships relating to what is created. And so you got to pick up the pieces, so to speak. 21, Uriel and the Sphinx. 2 and 1 equaling 3, the environment. What I observe in this picture is that they're not on Earth. They're like outside of Earth or somewhere other. Come on, man. Somewhere other than Earth. And I was looking at the card, and we know that Uriel is an angel, with the angel right here. And it was like they were in the inner realm, in their inner realm, Uriel and the Sphinx. Now I don't really know about what the Sphinx is, but I know it's supposed to be some ancient, some ancient shit. And this is going back before time, so to speak, with this energy, the 2 and the 1. This is like before time. Because remember, we had this little baby card over here with the 3 as well. That's like that inner stillness, that innocence, that before you were aware of time for real, when you're just playing, you get lost in just being. And that's what the Buddha practices. It practices to just be. Then we got this inner world energy. We had the treasure. So if there was some type of type of shakeup, whether it be in relationships, whether it be within the things that you usually relate to from day to day, there was some type of shakeup in that. What can't be taken, what the saying is, they can lock you up, but they can't lock away your mind, some shit. But in other words, you always got something to fall back on, because there's always nothing. There's always what you came here with. I was thinking, I don't want to go into what I was thinking about earlier. Well, I'm gonna let it come up in a reading, in a message. It was about artificial shit and how we came into this like artificial. I don't want to go too deep because it was more personal. I'll be thinking more about myself. But anyway, it'll come up. This is a reading. This ain't my inner thoughts like that. This is my perspective though. All right, one more card. I didn't even start with the astrology deck. I just want to try this deck out real quick. Fated Meeting. Number 7. I wish I had kept those cards that I had earlier. Damn, why didn't I do that? Like before I had turned the camera on, because this message is kind of like mirroring that message from earlier. But I don't have the corresponding information for y'all right now. But I'm still going to read the message. So 7. 7 is like that new experience, new beginning, so to speak, that fresh perspective or that brand new idea. And that fated meeting, because damn, I wish I had the cards to correspond. So this is like manifesting something based on what you choose to pay more attention to, instead of like this individual over here paying attention to the distraught part of his reality. Yeah, he do have to pay attention to it, but in order to like really do something to really settle the issue, you got to understand what happened within first. And once you understand that, you'll be able to switch your perspective up a little bit on what has been manifested. And then you'll be able to understand, oh, I did create that situation where somebody robbed my stupid ass. So if that's the case, I can create something different. And so you can have different ideas and begin to create other shit. So that's the 3rd card. Should I read some? Well, should I read more than 3 cards? I read a lot of them. Tripping. I'm gonna read some more because I'm exploring this deck. I wish I had some water. That's what I'm missing, some water. Okay. I don't even know what this word means. Hilarious. I don't know. But it's a number 5 energy. I'm going to have to look at it for a minute. Number 5 is that internal space, that darkness. If you look at the card, you can see the man, but the other people around that man are ghosts. You can see through them motherfuckers. They're not real. So this is, and so we can stay from being so spooky. Understand that this is like representing those spaces within that internal space. I was going to say internal confusion or internal chaos. That would be a better word, because it don't have to be confusion if you are aware that these are just things that go down within yourself, and acknowledge them. And those things can be those things can have their own internal organized chaos and own internal world to where they're accepted type shit. Because with the number 5, these 5 in the external represents the light, represents the sun, but on the internal, this is the internal space. This is like the sparkness within the darkness. This is like being in the understand or acknowledging what's within, so that it can be incorporated, so to speak. But I don't know what this Hilarion means. I know this individual that's standing right here, he got everybody's attention, but he's the only individual in this room that's actually alive or real. So this must be the observer of some sort. He got green around him, whatever. I don't know if y'all can see it. It looks like Abraham Lincoln back there. The fuck? anyway, we ain't finna get into details about these characters because that ain't the point. But they look like they're inside of some type of sanctuary though. So this is your internal meeting. I wish I knew what Hilarion meant. I damn didn't want to look it up on my phone because I don't have the card. I mean, I don't have the book. Yeah, this is the internal space and having your own internal sanctuary. And that's more valuable than these things that you thought that were valuable. The physical treasures that turned out to be worthless in the end. Once you realize that, you will have no choice but to find out what actually is valuable, which will be how you created them in the first place. And that'll allow you to therefore mirror and project and materialize and manifest what's actually valuable to you. And that could be a part of segments in this next cycle we're finna enter into. That's cute. Let me see. Hold on, let me spread these out. I wish I had got some water though. What came in the reverse? Did anything come in the reverse? I don't remember. All right, let's pull some out. If you're just coming in, I'm just going through this different deck. It's not new, but it's a different deck. It's called the Akashic Tarot. And I'm not reading this from a tarot perspective because I don't necessarily remember or know what they correspond to in the tarot, like 3 of Forces. I think this is water. See, I don't know because in this with the air, with the bird is giving me air, but I know keys is air. I know keys is sword, so I don't know. So anyway, just giving y'all that disclosure, whatever. So we got the 3 of Forces. That's another 3. That's another me, myself, and I energy. That's the bird feeding the little birdies because that's the foundational thing to do. That's the most basic part of maintaining their existence is by taking care of their foundational responsibilities. Being aware of what's needed, being aware of what's appreciated, everything, being aware of the presence of just being, the bird's nest. These are also like those because from that stillness is where thoughts and energies and frequencies are derived out of. And that's the beginning stages of this. So this is like a brand new energy that's sweeping in that you can kind of take advantage of. But don't bring in. Try not to bring in baggage if you can help it, because some of these things that could be brought in to this next little cycle that could be looked at as baggage ain't necessary, because it just is what it is based on this treasure, based on the realizations of what's actually important and what has not served you or been important to you or been for you or been beneficial or anything of value, based compared to what you know that you can maintain for yourself, which we'll go back to this Uriel and the Sphinx energy, that internal space, your internal perspective, because the earth is sitting up here, so they can't be on earth. They necessarily might not be outside of earth, but I would prefer this would be the internal world, the simultaneous realm, the atmosphere, because 2 and 1 is 3. We got a lot of 3 energies here. We had the Buddha prepares, just going over real quick. That's 4. These are the thoughts after that number 3 energy manifested and was able to like multiply, well, not multiply, but correspond and relate with and have thoughts about. And these are like the masculine thoughts, but having some type of organization and stillness and peace about those thoughts though. Having good ideas, higher, like better ideas, because based on this message and based on the energies, it could have been things that are going to have to shed, and what those things could be kind of like groundbreaking, devastational, or maybe like exciting, but it's not to be too over exaggerated in your expression with these new things that's happening. Is to have some stillness and have this, realize where you're at for real, and realize the point is things are shifting, I guess. Okay, let me read some more. Let me read a few more. Should I read some? I don't want to go backwards. That don't feel right. I was going to say, should I read some astrology cards? I don't feel right to go backwards. Feel like I'll be going backwards to read some extra. Well, shit, it don't matter. I'm gonna read some. Yeah, let me read some extra cards to see what type of energies these are, like where these came from. What areas are these energies focused towards that I'm reading though? So that's why I'm gonna read astrology right quick. So I'm gonna read some of the astro cards really quick. Okay, we got the South Node. I know the South Node is moving to Virgo, coming out of Libra. That's like a omen to the fact that things are shifting within this message that has been to me, you know, how things can be directed towards the shift or the transition, which takes place from day to day. On a micro and on the macro, we're finna go into a new year, and there's a lot of new different cycles that are changing as well, known or unknown to you. But if you're aware of your own cycles, then you'll by default be in harmony with the outside cycles around you, so you won't have to, you know, worry too much. Virgo. Let's just take it. We got Leo. Leo energy, entertainment, but remember we had the Hilarion. So even though I know 5 and Leo are not synonymous, but I'm just saying there are correspondences there. So these could be like older ways of expressing, or older thoughts and feelings that cause you to express certain ways, or not even older, but just internal thoughts and feelings that cause you to express certain ways. There may be some understanding of those things, or those are some of the things that are having to be shedded at this time though. Okay, we just had Leo. Lilith on the bottom of the deck, but we ain't reading that one though. One more astro card. What's up, Dreamer Tara? So we got Saturn. These are the limitations, the boundaries. This is like building and stability or whatever. So these are gonna be elements that's needed towards. These gonna be elements that's needed when it comes to you building what it is that you kind of need, or being able to go through these lessons that's gonna have to be learned. Let me see. I'm gonna pull. See, I was pulling out a whole different deck for those of y'all who just entered. I was pulling out this what's it called? The Akashic Tarot deck. And I've never pulled out this deck. The storyline was quite interesting. And I was trying to just correspond, like what kind of energies was we talking about then with the Astro deck. So you might have to rewind to really see what I was on. But I'm going to pull some more cards again, so it don't matter. You can stay right here though, because I'm pulling some more different cards that I haven't pulled from on camera. I haven't pulled from these cards on camera or recently. This is called. Do I want to pull out this? No, I'm gonna go back to the. I don't want to pull out this one. I'm gonna go back to the Akashic Tarot. I'm gonna keep these cards out. No, I'm gonna. Yeah. All right. And what's today? Today is Thursday. I didn't even look at the transits before I came on. All right. Keep in mind we got Saturn. These are the anchoring energies. Saturn, Leo, and the South Node. Just the energies of that. That one slipped out smooth. And then I picked it up in the reverse. This is the increscent moon. I guess what's the crescent moon? Is the crescent moon when it's waning or waxing, y'all? But he looked like he working on something, so it must be when it's like waxing. It's the crescent moon when it's waxing. But anyway, this is 6 of keys. Keys is air, as far as I'm concerned, because I don't know. 6 is balance. I don't know because I don't know this deck. But for as far as I'm concerned, based off the pattern that I've been peeping, it looks like it's like air. But this is working on certain things based on these bright ideas. Where the moon at right now? Damn, I think it's in Leo. We had Leo energy just come out. Okay, so expressing these things, not being too shy to express them, whether they for the first time or not, type shit. And with the South Node, what was going on with the South Node? We had Saturn. Yeah, expressing these things and not holding back certain ways, or being able to shed the things that are needed to be shed so that you can, that healthy release system, you are able to express certain things in a healthy way too. But that'll be the key, is to like shed. And in this aspect, shedding would be to express. Your expression in itself would be like the proof of the shedding, or what allows the shedding. But anyway, that's just, let me see. Let's pull some more of these cards. I've never pulled these cards before, y'all. Okay. It came out in the reverse. The Oracle of Delphi. This is 1 energy. It gives me like Lilith or that Aries, but my Aries is in Lilith though. So, but this gives me like that fire, that it's like an internal feminine fire energy. The Oracle of Delphi. This just the knowing. You know how that inner space is where all things can be known from. There's a waxing and waning crescent. Oh, okay. See, I don't even know what that. I don't know. But this card was, he was, that feels like a waning crescent moon, I guess. I mean, a waxing crescent moon, I guess. So, yeah, this is just that internal knowing. If you look real deep into the card, it's like some internal shit. You got the man sitting over there in the corner. You can barely see him, but he kind of like orchestrating the whole setup, but from behind the scenes though. The Oracle of Delphi. You think she don't know that she's aware of that energy from in the back, but you may not be, type shit. I don't know where this deck is going, y'all. I'm just reading out the deck. The Oracle of Delphi. I wish I had the book, but I don't. I don't have the book. But when I did read out of the book, it went deep. The book is online, and I don't have another device to look the deck up and that would be awkward anyway. So that's the reason why I'm just reading off the top, just to see. Okay, and I'm sure messages are gonna be in this. Now we already pulled this card. I'm just gonna sit that out. That was the 3 of Roses. That was that that child, that internal innocent, that peace within, that stillness that you came here with. Like when you was in the womb, you had that internal peace, that those imaginatory or inner world, those lights that were happening and going on. Like, you know, when you close your eyes and you're asleep, you still have activity going on, and that's what this is. That's what that gives me. It gives, man, it gives me a lot, because it reminds me of my childhood, low key, just looking at it. Happy holiday. Then we have diversity at the bottom of the deck. 5 of Scrolls. See, now Scrolls giving me air though. Scrolls giving me air, so keys. I don't know. Fire, water, air, earth. I don't know. I don't know what keys is yet. I'm gonna have to figure that out later. But Scrolls, what y'all think? Cause it don't matter. This card is giving me air energy and earth energy. Diversity. 5, that internal chaos where those feminine internal movements be going down, that's having to manipulate and create and materialize something. um this is the feminine energy that's like being, this is like, how do I say it, because she got a book in her hand, and we know that that's some masculine energy. But also we know, like, Virgo type energy or Taurus or earthly type energy, that's a physical energy, but it's internal too. So this is like that queen inner bitch, because this is 5. She's not quite the queen from the external perspective, but she kind of holds some weight from the internal. Diversity. She probably is the one that can tell you, okay, you can let her in, or that emotion is allowed, whether or not you like it or not. We're gonna keep that bitch right there, type shit. She that bitch. She that pimp bitch. Then she got on blue. She got some kind of like low-key authority. It's a deep blue too. Almost purple, but her authority is she got some type of understanding in the physical. Diversity. Because she's a feminine energy holding the number 5, but yet she's outside though. We outside, ho. We outside, ho. Okay. Bitch, we outside tonight. No, I don't want these 2 cards. I want them to come out on their own. I don't want them either. I like the way they came out. So remember, y'all, I'm not reading these from no tarot perspective, because I can't. That'll be too much. That'll be too much masculine logic brain shit to do right now, since I don't know these cards. I don't know the perspective these cards coming out of. We already had this card, fated meeting. That's like the manifestations of the internal, what you created from the internal. What she said was allowed is gonna be the energy that's gonna be what's created. Like, you know what I'm saying? What she allowed, this feminine 5 internal emotion, is what's like how things are gonna be manifested and seen though. And this is some fated meeting. We already read this card. You might have to rewind a little bit because I don't want to read it again. But basically, this was just the materialization of whatever has been going on from the internal, and what you also have been doing in the physical to materialize them, or like manifest some type of new perspective or actual scenario and situation or environment. But we can also look at it like it's an actual thing, because we all are going into a brand new year, and that's going to bring into some brand new shit. It don't matter. Okay. Okay, so let's see. I ain't gonna pull the whole deck, but I'm gonna we already had, like, these cards would be significant. This deck ain't no skinny deck like that. We already had this card come out too. So 7. This is another 7 energy. So this ain't 7, my bad. This is 4. 13. That's the environment and the individual. The individual being aware of the environment, and simultaneously that thing happening, and it having some type of control, which is going to create the thought or the masculine energy. Okay, that's the reason why she looks so demure, because her man is. Where's she at? And she do too. She like a little, yeah, but we ain't talking about her. Where's she at? That's why she looks so demure though, because she like got that masculine energy that's kind of like organized and put together, and respected, and also has stillness and calmness, because she still is a woman. Because look, this is some of her relatives. Based off of this energy. I'm just reading the deck, y'all. I don't really know where I'm going with it, but it's kind of interesting. So I thought I'd share, because I was reading it from this type of perspective earlier before I had turned the camera on. So wait a minute. And I'm, like I said, there's messages in this. Okay. Okay. The same card came out again. What the fuck? Y'all see I have reshuffled the whole, do y'all know that? So this is like the 3rd time these same cards came out. Some of these cards, not all of them, but some of these cards, this is the 3rd time some of them came out. But this is Uriel and the Sphinx. It's that inner world. But not just the inner world, but this is a simultaneous thing. This is like that simultaneous. This is another number 3 card. 3 is where simultaneous starts. This is where that simultaneous connection begins. So this is not just the internal world. This is the androgynous environment too. And the observer and being in both of those realms and being able to clearly see or understand and at least know that you're working with multiple aspects of things. At least knowing that. Because I don't even know what the Sphinx mean. And by me just not even knowing what the Sphinx mean, that means that's like an omen to me to let me know you may not necessarily know like what's going, like you can't necessarily know what's next for real, because you got to stay in the now. So you know that this is, because I know that the Sphinx is some old, supposed to represent some old ancient information or wisdom. So yeah, this is what that is. That's that 3 is information. This is ancient information. Okay. This is ancient, deep information. Okay. I don't know how long I've been on, and I don't got my timer on. No, we're not doing that. They got to come out right. No. I don't like the way them came out. I kind of want to keep them, but I'm going to keep them. 5, the garden. This is also, of course, we know this is a deck that was made from somebody. So, of course, they're going to kind of like correspond with one another. But by this being my first time reading them, the correspondence is, they give me a little bit, it's more impactful to me, because how do I know? So this 5 is also giving me, where's she at? Where's the baby at? The 3 of Roses, loving elements in the garden. So 5 is like childhood. Let me put this back. It's not necessarily important right now, but 5 is like children, childhood. What's multiplied, what was created, because the garden produces flowers and herbs and things, and that play, just chilling in all that organized beauty, because this at this point is external, so to speak, since we have an actual picture of it or whatever. Then we got this in the reverse, 1 of Roses. Roses give me like Cups energy. This is commitment. It was in the reverse. Contract. That's what this say. So some things have been broken. They go back to the energy prior that we was talking about, things having to separate. Some certain things need to be broken. Sorry, it might be devastating for some. It could be exciting for others, but nonetheless, certain things have to separate. Whether you actually had to like have a sit down conversation and look here, bro, it's not going to work, or it's just something that's happened by default, whether it's because of a death or a move or whatever. But it's certain things that are goddamn is over with. And they go down to the deep. Remember, we had Uriel and the Sphinx come out. This is some not just no physical, like, I'm going to the grocery store up the street instead of going to the one that it's not just some basic shit. These separations are going to like color, or they're going to help be what is going to be the representation of what's coming up. And what you're finna get ready to create. Now I done turned that into a message. I was supposed to be just reading the card. My bad. Let me just read the card though. Reflection. This is 19. That's another 1 energy. So at the end of it all is only you though. Even though you can see all these reflections and these mirroring projections and the external actual life itself, you being able to actually touch something, though you can do that, these are still mere reflections though, because at the end of the day, it's just about what you had, how they are reflecting and reacting towards what you are pushing out though, or how you have organized your space internally and physically, from a auric, like your aura field and all of that, your perfume that you wear, all of that, the colors that you may, all of that. Man, it go deep, but I ain't gonna go too deep to sound like a psychopath. But we got the Hilarion again. This the second or third time this card came out at the bottom of the deck. If y'all remember what the Hilarion was about, remember 5 is that internal space, 5 is that multiple, those feelings, the internal realm. From, if we're looking at it from that perspective, but in the physical perspective, 5 is actually the light, the shine, or whatever. It's the attention, so to speak. Not well when we look at Leo. Let me just say that, because 5 and Leo are not they are not synonymous. So these are just correspondence. But since this 5 is not talking about the external, this is talking about some internal awareness, though. You having these internal shadow workings going on and you being aware of them at the same time. And you see he reading the book, that's a man reading the book, having some type of internal organization, being able to find some type of understanding even before it became logical understanding. This is understanding before it was even logical to be expressed. You had to first find some type of deeper wisdom within yourself first before you was able to even be seen as wise or seen as who you are, though. It ain't got to have nothing to do with necessarily wise. This is just you, though, because your internal workings and fashions and whatever is going on is gonna make who you are. So in order for that to even be respected, you gotta respect it first, type shit. All right, I'm getting tired. I'm hungry. I'm finna dip. I don't even know what's going on in the chat, but I'm finna go, y'all. That was quite fun. Let me see how long I've been here, though. I ain't been here for 36 minutes. I'm gonna stay a little longer. My bad. I thought it felt a little longer than that. It felt longer than that, y'all. I had my thing covered up. Okay. Let's pull. Y'all want to pull out some more? I guess so. And I chose to pick this up in reverse. I carefully, if y'all notice, I carefully picked it up. I didn't know if it was going to be in the reverse or not, but that was meant to be in the reverse. And what is this? The Muse. So a muse is like, how do you put it? Like when you live vicariously, something can represent what you can be, or like your animal's totem or animal spirit, but it's in the reverse, though. So it's like you got to be that 15. That's 6. That's balance. The Muse. I don't know. I wish I could read this out the deck. Because why I had to come in a reverse like that, and I intentionally picked it up. But if you see, I got to find balance with that. So 6 is balance, though. 6 is being able to use the yin and the yang. So this is an internal, again, understanding of your character. So where you're able to be the muse, whether it's externalized or not. But you're going to have to externalize that shit. So I don't know what the muse means for real. I don't know. This one got me a little caught up. What y'all think? I'm just reading this deck, y'all. Just keeping it real. Just keeping it real. I'm reading this deck for not the first time, but the first time in a long time. She playing beautiful music. I'm gonna read her in the upright. Fuck that. If I read her in the upright, I can read her. She playing beautiful music. She's harmonizing certain shit just based off of her being who she fuck is. So this is 5 after the 6. This is the atmosphere. This is creating the atmosphere based off of that. The individual and the emotional space, the individual being able to tap into that emotional space of themselves, and that thus creating them an ability to know how to stabilize certain shit externally to them. And it's going to be beautiful type shit and natural. Something that's normalized. The Muse, that's a beautiful thing. Because look, man, I didn't want to continue dwelling on this card, but she got the 2 pillars right here. One of them look like it's made out of grass, and one of them look like it's made out of pearl. She's blowing in a flute, but it looks like a double flute, though. She got the moon on this side, but there's no moon on that side. Where the rest of her body at? So it's like a balance. I was born on the 15th, in the middle of the year, on the middle month. The Gemini, so that I know 15 to me, at least for me, represents like balance. 15 is half of 30, so it's like balance. The individual, but it's a balance based on what you balance within, though, because the individual that individual went inside of itself in order to be able to like stabilize the atmosphere. their own atmosphere, internal and oral field. Like what I said, it causes a cause and reaction to where those things help stabilize the atmosphere around you. And you have your own little aura field, your own little reality, your own little space, but that makes you be the muse. Anyway. Yeah, I don't need to necessarily read these in the reverse since I'm just reading the card. What up, Grace Anna? The Queen of Forces. Like I said, I'm not reading this deck. It's a tarot deck, but I'm not necessarily reading it based off of tarot, the tarot archetypes, because I don't know what these represent for real. And plus, I don't really like reading tarot anyway. So I'm gonna read out this deck and I'm gonna use it like that. So, but I think forces would represent like water. That's what I came up with earlier. And I'm coming up with that now. So the Queen of Forces. Remember, we had the Queen, another Queen came out, and she was more stoic, but it's because she had her masculine energy helping her to maintain or whatever, or that support of her masculine energy. Because 5 is internal. Earth is physical, but yet it's a feminine energy, and she's holding the book. She got on that blue, which represents some type of authority, so to speak. And she has the authority of the inner world, or her inner world. And it's diversity, and that's her being able to balance the two, though being in the yin realm, being able to foresee the yang as well, or being able to balance those things or some shit. Some like that. And we had, where's the other card? The Oracle Delphi. This is her homegirl who she worked with. You know what I'm saying? A partner. Not really partner in crime, because they don't really work simultaneously with each other. They got their own things going on, but they talk, they correspond. They see each other, even though they're working within 2 different realms. They both gain wisdom from 1 5. Yeah. Because 1 is the individual, and this is like that internal space, though. 5 is feminine. 1 is masculine. 5 is feminine, but 5 still is that internal space that makes up the 1. Like all of those different multiple energies going on inside is how things materialize and turn into physical things anyway. Then she got her man over here too. Her masculine energy is over here. That's why she is the 1. You know what I'm saying? And she knows she's in the internal. Only you know, because 1 is you. Like, that's the individual. Okay, but then we got the Queen of Forces, though. Here go another one on. This is the I'm looking at this like this is water. She is walking on water, so she's able to balance certain shit. So these queens in this deck are very they got their balance on point. Well, all queens do, but the way this one is breaking it down is I like it. Well, the way I'm interpreting it. So this is the yin and the yang, the physical and the physical and the non-physical realm. And she's balancing these things from the internal, because if I'm correct, Queen of Forces would be the water realm, the yin. She would be balancing these things from the internal. Hold on. What the fuck? I'm trying to remember what that was I had earlier. I don't think I'm finna be able to recall that thought. Damn, it was quite go with this message. It was about water though. I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, she's balancing the two. Over here, it looks like it's a nice fall, spring evening, and over here it looks like a drought, but the sun is out. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? She still got water though, so it's quite balancing. She got on deep purple and gold. Yeah, still royalty. Anyways, I done pulled out down to half the deck. Okay. Yeah, I think I do need to pull this deck. If I'm gonna reach out this deck, yeah, this would be a good idea. So I ain't finna say I'm finna pull the whole deck. Let me not say that, because there's a whole lot of cards left. No, I'm not finna do all that. I would like to. Maybe I have a part 2 or something. Maybe if y'all like this storyline or whatever. Okay. The chess game, 3 of keys. What did I say keys was? I thought it was, I kind of feel like it's swords. This is strategy. 3 being information was like beginning to be understood, learning something, learning how to play chess, learning your next move by your opponent's move, cause and reaction, the polarities of such, the chess game. We know 3 is androgynous, but we also know Gemini's like kind of masculine, and I can see but it's because of the strategy. It's because of the strategy. You got one of your, see, I don't know nothing about chess. I don't know nothing about chess to interpret what these cards mean, what these chess pieces mean on this deck. But that's like a strategy. And sometimes you can be too smart for your own good. But I'm just reading the card itself, not throwing any energy off on nobody. Or think you got a strategy and really you played yourself. Because you playing at a time where other people ain't necessarily playing. People might be being for real and actually being genuine, but you might be too busy playing. Yeah, with that 3. Okay, initiation and the Count Saint Germain. I know Jermaine's supposed to be in California, I think. This is another 5 energy again. That's the individual with his own individual thoughts. So this is having authority over your own thoughts. Okay. Which is going to balance your emotions. That's the reason why this chick over here, that's the reason why she is so defined in her external realm, or have so to speak, in what's manifested and materialized based on what she's come up with from the internal. It's like a hierarchy system, okay? It's like a little system going on. The masculine, Saint Germain, he a pimp too, though. This number, this is 15. Well, this is 5. This is the internal world. The individual and the individual thought. So this is the masculine authority, because all of the people up under him are the women. So it's like having that internal balance with your own masculine energies, your own internal self. The initiation and the Count Saint Germain, the initiation to me is like having to learn a lesson. In order to be initiated with that type of wisdom, you would have had to go through the actual lesson. So that's your inner guidance and your wisdom based off of what has actually been physical and what you actually had to withstand and things, and having that type of knowledge and being able to direct how you're going to move forward emotionally based off of what you know because of your old experiences, based off of your previous initiations, or being initiated at this point because of those things. Okay. The Lookout. This 8 energy. 17 though, individual. These are masculine numbers that add up to a feminine number. The Lookout. You can't help but to see a fire, especially in the middle of the water with all that reflection. You can't help but to see it. That's why fire is masculine, so to speak, and water is like the feminine yin. 8 though, we still dealing with yin energies though. So fire is masculine, but it's the inner masculine. It's the inner masculine. Okay, making sense. It's that inner masculine energy. And you can't help but to know it and feel it and see it and externalize it. You can't help but to do that. Some fires are necessary. And you can't burn up the water. Like you can't set the water on fire. Like you kind of can, but it would take unnatural qualities to do that. So just naturally speaking, you can't burn the water down. So the fire must be having a purpose and having a point. Because why else would it just be sitting there burning? You anyway. You got the little boy standing on top of the boat. Damn, I wish I knew what this card was talking about. I want to show it to y'all, but I also want to look at it. He don't look like he don't look worried. He just standing up there waiting on the help to come. You already know, this just a part of the shit. This is what it is. That's what 8 energy is like. Hey, once you get to 8, you kind of finally realize the storyline, and then you get to that 9 and you just realize, what it is, and it's looking over that. But we ain't got to 8 to 9 yet. This is 8, but in the middle, this is like wisdom. So in the middle of what you got going on, or in the middle of the lessons or the cycle, you still are already in observation mode, knowing what parts you're playing, kind of already then got ahead of the situation a little bit. The lookout, you can see, you can foresee. This is foreseeing shit in that 8 energy, because 8 is synchronistic, 8 is cyclic. So many cycles and synchronicities, so many cycles happen, synchronicities begin to happen, and you already can see what's going on. So you ain't really necessarily worried, because you goddamn been on a burning boat 1,000 times. This individual has. He'd have been in the same situation 1,000 times. He know what to do at this point. Though you may not want to continue to go through this shit, and that could be the discouraging part, the fact that you're going through it again or whatever. But the point is, at some point it breaks, it changes, and that could be like you holding on to knowing. I ain't trying to make this into no message. This is really me just reading out the deck, but knowing that internal knowing based on the internal cycle and water can't burn up, and you can see that fire. That's going to give you the gumption to continue on regardless or whatever, so to speak. That's just this card. This is a combination of a message and the interpretation of this deck. Divine Physician. It really came out in the reverse, but it don't matter. We're not reading it like that. So the Divine Physician, and this came out earlier when I first pulled out this deck before I even cut the camera on, but it only came out that time, so not as significant as those other cards that repetitively came out. But 6, those cards that kept coming out in the beginning of this reading, that was crazy, because I had not even got halfway through the deck. But anyway, 6, balance, the Divine Physician, being able to heal yourself based on your balance and shit. The atmosphere, having a healing aura, just being a person, because once you kind of are settled and at peace, wherever you go, you kind of bring that energy with you. You bring like peace or healing or whatever. But I ain't really saying it like healing, like so divine. I'm just saying real shit. Like wherever you go, there you are. And if you're in a certain space, that's the space you created. So you taking it with you. So and it did come in like the reverse. So we're not finna romanticize it. We're looking at it both goddamn ways too. Even though this ain't a message, but still, since this is a message at the same time. He like, you gonna slap the shit out that girl for looking at him too hard, because bitch, I'm that nigga. So don't get too rah-rah in knowing that you got a little balance, whatever. You know, don't get too caught up in knowing that, oh, people just like for me to be around. Fuck that. That ain't important either. Make sure that your intentions are right so that the atmosphere can flow like it needs to. Because she looking up to him. It ain't about somebody looking up to nobody. Like, just be where you're supposed to be at, and then it will be equal level ground, and you won't have to worry about that competition ass shit. 6 is 6 is balance. It's also Virgo. Virgo is nitpicky. Sometimes Virgo's detail oriented. Virgo pays attention to like the things that you may not be paying attention to. That's probably why I even read all that. Devil in the details. Story time. I'm calling it story time. That's what I'm gonna name this video. Tarot story time, some shit. I don't like the way those came out. Okay. One of Key Architect. This card right here. Well, Jesus was no architect. He was a carpenter. Never mind. Because I'm finna say this last card was giving me Jesus Christ energy based on how he looked. And then this don't represent carpenter though. This is like architect. So one, individual, masculine. Somebody who is their own template. Somebody who's individual. It's just what it is, because this is what it is. And I'm finna create it. Because I'm finna express it. It's finna be externalized. This is the first externalization. But this is, I don't know what keys is. I'm thinking that keys is, I'm thinking that it's air. I'm thinking that keys is air. So this is that that it's a thought, but it's like that first thought, that first masculine expression, and that would be the what you call that, the prototype, which would be needs to be you yourself. But it's ancient, so it could be other examples set before. There's some ancient energy, but you are your ancestors though. So at the same time, those examples that were set before are still like aspects of you if you're aware of them and resonate with them or whatever. So this is still like your own expression of that, of all of that shit, because you're in the world too. So that's what one of keys mean. I'm finna go because I'm low-key getting a headache, y'all. I fuck with y'all though, and I'm hungry. And I had to end so abruptly, but I'm finna dip, getting tired. Bye. Peace out. I hope y'all got a message from that.